Clipboard community and
thebasketballplaybook.com.
You are here with Coaches in Cars, the continuation of our coaching conversation in a minivan. Pull out your Twitter. Are we going to go on Twitter?
Yeah, I'll go on Twitter. I'll scroll through.
It was the whole, like, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Like, I don't know if we'll actually, like, call a person
I'm
out.
not going to call anybody out specifically.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Until I do.
We'll see how mad I get. What about small-sided games?
What about small-sided games?
Well, we have to have a term for it, right?
Oh, right. Because nobody ever did.
Nobody's ever done a small-sided game before. It was called a small-sided game.
Well, small-sided is actually a soccer term. So
okay. Did it come from soccer?
So I heard the term small-sided games from soccer coaches first.
Okay.
And so Nick Levette, who used to be the head of the talent ID for the FA, he was on, and that's just maybe the first time I heard about it, or I may have heard it from the guy Bart Sullivan, bring his name up again, because he's a pretty interesting coach. Coaches lacrosse, but he has his kids play soccer, handball, and basketball at practice. They set their lacrosse sticks down for the first 30 minutes of practice and do not touch a lacrosse stick. It's crazy.
Wow.
Cross practice, but they don't. And he has kids show up early to play the games that they're going to play that day before they pick up the lacrosse stick. But anyway, small-sided games, back to that.
I think coaches love terms. Like, if you come up with a catchy term for something, people would buy it.
It's so catchy.
Yeah, but like people would buy it, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you came out, I don't know, right now, okay, if I tweet out anything about Brad Stevens, I'll get like 100 likes immediately. Like, it's not even a question.
Like, you like Brad Stevens' hair, and you get 100 likes on it?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I could tweet it out. I should do that. I should tweet it.
Just
I'm
do
not
it
gonna
right
do
now.
that. That's not what I do.
See, I'm trying to get him to come over here poking. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it would have no content. I gotta wait till you drop it, and then wait an hour and 15 minutes, and then tweet it, so the people who are listening can go look at my Twitter, and it would just be.
Well,
and then what if they listen to 3 days? That's what I mean. Like, they go 3 days later. Like, too much. I'm just spending too much time talking about it right now. But basically, the point is, we love the latest and newest thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, small-sided games
shiny
existed
object
before they were called small-sided games, right?
Yeah, it's called one-on-one.
I think so.
Maybe.
Honestly, I don't know what small-sided games are. I will give you. I don't know what they are, and I don't care.
So that's why I think it came from soccer, because you've got the big goal in the middle and the big goal in the middle, like, of the field.
Okay.
Not of the field, but on the ends in the middle of the field.
Yeah. It's
So
like
what they do
4-on-4?
is they take a small goal and they put it on the sideline. And now you have 2-on-2, 3-on-3 soccer.
Okay.
And now it's a small-sided game. Now, I just completely made that up because it's what I inferred from it. I could be completely wrong.
You had me.
Sure.
You got me. I mean, that's what it is now.
But it makes sense, right?
It does, yeah.
So that's why I think it's a soccer term. But yeah, it's small-sided games. So those would be played on the baskets on the side of the court that come down.
Okay, so what's a big-sided game?
Maybe it's just a half court.
Okay.
I'm making this up. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. But what? I don't know. Anyways, I have seen it referred on Twitter a lot.
I wonder if the coaches know what they're talking about.
We should see. But I don't know what a small-sided game is. I don't know what drills they are. I've seen some here and there, but I just think basketball is basketball, and if you build a progression from 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 3-on-4, 4-on-4, whatever your progression is, right? Then it's just a drill. It doesn't need to be called something cute. Just do a drill.
No. Well, the reason I like the 3-on-3 is because, especially with younger kids, is that ball touches.
Yeah.
Play 5-on-5 with 7, 8, 9-year-olds. You're going to have 2 kids to touch the ball. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? And so the other 3 are watching. When you play 3-on-3, and then if you constrain those things, so it's not a drill. Like, a small-sided game isn't a drill to me.
Right,
it's a constraint. Like, for me, it'd be for us. You don't get necessarily points for the ball going in the basket. You get points for pass and screen. You get points for pass and cut to the basket. Whatever we're trying to emphasize that day,
right.
Those are the points that are scored. Or if we're, emphasizing defense, whatever it happens to be, like you get a point for an amazing slide, right?
Right.
Where you cut the guy's drive off because you exploded and it wasn't your normal lazy slide step.
Yeah.
It just that's where, so you're emphasizing a skill that you want and you're giving points for it, and that's how you win the game, not the ball going in the hoop.
Right.
So, yeah. Like,
is that what the basketball ones are?
In my mind, that's what they're supposed to be. That's how I took it from the people that I've interviewed, that the soccer and then the 3-on-3 part, and then now people calling it small-sided. So I think it's a stolen soccer term.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't really buy into calling things. Actually, that's not true, because I like the Chick-fil-A drill I came up with.
Right.
That was fun. I'm still going to do that. I like Chick-fil-A. So I mean, if Chick-fil-A, if you're listening, I'm available for any sponsorships for free. Like like free food, like fries and nuggets, like for like 2 videos. I'll talk about Chick-fil-A for 20 minutes. Anyways,
we could go break down some Chick-fil-A.
We could break down some Chick-fil-A. So I gotta get more in depth on this, because I didn't really find exactly ones right. But like the online basketball community and they're like the ability where if they don't agree with something somebody does or says, to have like they're right no matter what, is extremely frustrating to watch at times. And to preface this, I am 29. I've been coaching high school basketball for a total of 5 years now, 3 at the varsity level. And I don't know everything. I don't agree with everything everybody does. But I will watch and pay attention to what everybody else does, because they've they're at that level of my respect. And I feel like online respect gets thrown out the window.
Well, it's because there's not a face to put with it lots of times, right?
Right.
You can't see me.
Right. But it's just so like, why? But I know you don't see the face, and I understand. I get snappy on Twitter. Because people piss me off. But I also know enough that like, if a college coach does something, if a college coach plays 3 out, 2 in, and posts the ball up and doesn't shoot a lot of threes, right? That is probably the opposite. That's the opposite of my philosophy on offense.
Correct.
Literally the opposite.
Yeah.
But I respect him as a coach because he's at the next level and I am not. Even if I was on that level, he has made it to that next level. He is doing something right. Culture, whatever it is, he's done or is doing something right. It doesn't matter if he can't see me or I can't see him. We owe people who have done the right things, from our eyes, right? Done the right things, made the right steps, and gotten a Division I or Division II or III or NBA coaching job. JUCO, women, men, doesn't matter. We owe them that respect. We just do.
Well, we owe everybody the respect to begin with. Doesn't matter what level they're at. Like,
right.
Honestly, I will give you respect until you don't deserve it.
Yes. And it would be different if they're doing like clown drills, right? Like boxing drills and just like. But honestly, I saw NBA trainers who were using tennis balls 3 years ago. Now people are like, if you pull out tennis balls, like if I did a fake video on Twitter and made it seem like it was real, and I pulled out tennis balls for my guys, I would get 100 replies calling me the dumbest coach in America. And NBA guys are training with them, and cones. Like if you pull out cones and tennis balls, I'm pretty sure you legally have to move to like Europe. You can't coach in the U.S. anymore.
Siberia,
maybe even Europe. I don't know, but like it's incredible.
Alaska.
Yeah, like it's incredible to watch the reactions. I want to do it for fun, just to see the reactions.
I'm in.
But I don't know. It's a lot of effort to give them. I don't know if I want to do that.
It's a lot of effort to just go after they're done.
Yeah, and like it's just, it'll be all right.
Well, that's kind of the thing. I think it's not just a coach thing, right? Wow, we're gonna go deep. I think it's a societal thing, where so you're either this or you're that, right? You can't be both. You have to choose a side. Like, we're so divided right now. And this is what's kind of worries me about this next election. Like, what's it going to look like at different rallies? Like, we've seen the violence escalate between people that disagree over whatever you want to talk about, right? The stuff that happened in Charlottesville, the stuff that happens at LGBT rallies, the stuff that happens at whatever. It's gotten so divisive. Like, you're either for or against, and if you're not in my camp, I hate you. And that to me is like, it's showing up on Twitter with those things, right? Because it's easy to hide behind your phone. But then starting to translate out into society where it's getting violent. And I thought about this the other evening when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and can't go to sleep. And why I think about that, I don't know. But that's just one of those things. It's like, where are we going with this? What do we do? I mean, like, Billy Graham, whatever, said that coaches affect more lives than any person, even, you know, in their lifetime, than anybody else. So what do we, like, I think we have a responsibility as coaches to our players to, you know, share that there are two sides to every story. Like, one of my biggest things, I did it on one of the Friday podcasts, is I don't want to be a lifelong learner. I want to be a lifelong challenger of what I've learned. So how do I find the other side, and how do I then take on that argument for myself? How do I find, even if you think it's complete crap, there's something in there to learn. So how do I find the fertilizer in the feces, right? So I mean, as a coach, as a coach listening, like, how do you do that? And I think the younger people are way more tolerant at the moment. They haven't gotten that divisive yet. But if we continue to teach that, if we continue to model that as a coach, what do you think they're going to do when they get out there? Sorry to get serious on you.
I don't know.
No, I'm not. It's maybe a rhetorical question, not necessarily asking for an answer.
It is.
That's one to think about. That's one to get back to me in 24 hours on.
That's a great question, Coach.
Yeah,
I'll get back to you in 24 hours with an email response. Yeah. You caught me for a loop. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy that.
No, I don't have an answer except for, like, just modeling that tolerant part, modeling that, taking the other side, and finding, you don't have to find something in it, but understanding the other person's point of view. And just, if you understand the other side, then you can have a little bit of empathy. And so now you're not so, you know, you suck because you're a Republican, or you suck because you're a Democrat, or you suck because you're a Libertarian, or whatever.
What if you suck because you suck?
Then you're
just not very good at it.
Well, that's a different. I'm just talking about putting a label on somebody and saying they suck, and you don't know them. Yeah, you don't know anything about them, and just putting them in a bucket, and that's the suck bucket because of whatever label it has on it.
I'm gonna switch it up.
Go for it. I'm ready.
So we both listened to Gary V.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk. Vaynerchuk. If you guys don't know, check his stuff out. It's really good. I've seen people tweet out, to like kids, right? They'll say, like, I hate this, by the way. Players, coaches, hate that. Just tweet. Stop directing it to people. Like, if it's a coach who needs to hear it, they'll get it, right? But they'll like tweet like, players, nobody needs to see your workouts. Stop posting your workouts and stay in the gym, period, right? Like, that'll be the tweet. And like, first of all, there's so much to unpack, right? Which is like, you watch the video, right? The coach watched the video.
Or the person.
I think it's a coach. I don't know. I've seen coaches say it, and people say it, mostly coaches, right? Like, why? Like, why does it matter if a kid wants to post it? He was in the gym.
Right.
He worked out.
Or she, yeah.
He was playing. He worked out. So that means he was in the gym getting better. And you're going to say, don't post that. How dare you? So that's my first, like, what?
Yeah.
You're mad at okay, so right now we're mad at a kid for working out, okay? So we're mad at a kid for getting better in the gym.
Because they wanted to put it out there.
Right, okay, so that's the first craziness, right? Secondly, they have to put it out there.
Right.
Why? 2 reasons.
Dose.
They're friends. Friends love it, man. Like they'll get likes and they'll get more popular. And it'll inspire their friends to get their butts in the gym too. It will. And may not be the laziest one. It may not be, everyone, but it'll get 2 or 3 other kids in the gym.
All right,
and they want to post their own video, right? They want to post their own video to make it look better. Right? They'll maybe raise their game up a little bit. So that's a thing, right? But secondly, and probably the most important thing, and I'm taking this from Gary Vee, they're already basically creating their own brand and their own social media presence.
Yep.
Like, there's a reason Zion Williamson is so popular right now. And it's not because he can shoot the ball. We'll see that coming up this season, right? If he can shoot or not. That's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
But because he can dunk like that, he became super, super, super popular. And also, he is a man. That dude is a man.
Yep.
That's a grown man at 18. Like, he will never have to lift again. It's a grown man. So, but my point is, everything they're doing is around the culture we're in, where social media is basically king.
I don't know that the kids understand what they're doing in terms of creating the personal brand. They're just doing it because they enjoy it.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that's the byproduct of it.
Oh, no, definitely. Like, the kids, they're like, so I have tried to encourage my children to do YouTube. Just put stuff out there, right? My youngest son has his own channel. There's not a lot out there, but he's kind of a nut on the trampoline. He's just an all around, and so, I've encouraged him to just film that and stick it up there, right? Because he's I watch what he watches, and I'm like, you're better than these dudes on the trampoline,
right?
And you're pretty crazy for he's 10 now, 11, and you have a personality, and people tend to, enjoy him, and so why not? If he could be a presence and make money at that age, why not? I would rather my kids be entrepreneurs. Wow. And not necessarily go to college, but educate themselves.
You don't want them to have $200,000 in debt? You don't want them to have that?
Well, I don't want to have $200,000 in debt times 3. Right. And so that's what it's. I'm planting the seeds about the personal brand and about the ability for you to use social media to create your own brand, so that the podcast, I think coaches should use those as a resume.
Yeah.
Because the questions I ask, hey, I would be interested in your job. Check out this interview on Whistle on the Clipboard, and you'll get an understanding of me as a coach.
Yes.
Right? It's there. I don't know that any coach has done that yet, but
I will.
I think it's.
I for real will.
Yeah. But why not? It's part of your brand. And most of the time, all the coaches, it's just they're not in a situation where they got to feel like they got to provide an answer for something. It's their answer. It's not. And I think a lot of us in interviews will try to do that. What does this person want to hear?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think everybody does that in life.
Right.
Right. Have you? I don't know if I've done it mainly when I was younger, where I'll talk louder so someone else can hear me what I'm saying, so I look better. Right.
Oh, no, I definitely did exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When I was...
Yeah, I did like last week. I did. I don't remember what it was, but I did. I definitely did. And it's because we all just want to be liked. And giving people what they want to hear is the easiest way to be liked and not actually face like our actual issues. But anyways, getting back to the workouts and stuff is like, well, the NBA guys are posting their workouts. Should they not post their workouts either? You know, where are we drawing the line? Like, when have you actually made it? Like NCAA, what's elite, right? So it's like, where are we drawing the line here? Like, why can't a high schooler post it when Snapchat, you know, Instagram is like 100 million users right now? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy that, like, why wouldn't you encourage them to go out and do those things? Is it because you're not doing those things? Are you jealous that you didn't have that? Are you like?
It goes back to the understanding, right? Do you understand what they're doing? Do you understand what it could do? And lots of people that are tweeting that stuff out, they don't understand the social media. Like, they don't. Everybody wants to talk about generations, right? I won't crack on lacing this time, but see, I just did it in a backhanded way.
That was very subtle.
But if you go back and you read some of Aristotle's quotes, it's the exact same thing people are saying about Generation X or Generation whatever right now, right?
What is Generation X?
You.
I am?
I don't know. Oh no, you're the one after that. Why?
I'm why?
I don't even know what the numbers are because I don't care.
Yeah. I'm proud to be XY.
The technology, it's the issues are the same. It's just the technology's changed.
Right. The platform is different, right?
Yeah. It's not that so my parents looked at me and they're like, why are you using this personal computer thing? Like, the typewriter's just fine, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, why are y'all on 8-track? These tapes are awesome.
AOL.com. Kevin Eastman.
And my kids are like, what's a cassette tape?
Yeah.
Right? They kind of missed the CD.
Yeah. I just feel like anybody, in my opinion, anybody who complains about somebody else who is actually working at something has something else going on that they need to address and do maybe,
get your own butt into a gym.
Yeah, a SWOT analysis on their life and figure out why they're mad at a child.
Why are you so angry?
At a child, And obviously, I'm picking on people on Twitter because that's where I live most of the time, and I see, the negative stuff will stand out more to me than the positive stuff, and the positive stuff actually outweighs the negative stuff, in my opinion. Like the conversations that happen and the interactions. I mean, like we went to this clinic and I met in real life.
Right.
People who follow me on Twitter, and I felt like I knew them a little bit.
You put a face with a name.
Yeah, with a name.
Not a name with a picture.
Yeah, and it was like, I feel like I already know you guys though. Like, so like, it's.
What's up?
Yeah, it was just really cool. And like, I don't know if everybody gets that.
Well, they're not going to get that if they're not on Twitter and they're not interacting with people and having like conversations, right? About things, not just this kid's stupid for posting his picture. Grumpy.
I think it was a college coach that said that too.
Hey, well, he's grumpy. So, I don't like.
You want to go play for him?
Nope.
That's a huge mistake, man. If you're a college coach and you say that,
right?
Good luck recruiting for the next 2 years.
If another coach finds that,
if a kid sees that, right?
That's what I'm getting.
If you're a child and you're like, hey, like,
we've all heard about negative recruiting, right?
Oh, it's for sure. Yeah.
So if I was another coach and I found out,
and you could screenshot it, right? I'd keep it up, like, hey, look what that dude said about you. That's weird.
I would just put it on his page for him.
Can you believe that some people would say something like that? Oh, that's you? That's crazy. But like, if I'm a kid and I want to go, like Jay Billis was talking about going and playing for Coach K, right? And like what the differentiator and the separation was.
Oh yeah, right. When he was making the decision.
Yeah, when he was deciding the only coach
he forgot
he
to
would
say
pick.
Dean Smith didn't recruit him.
He didn't?
Joke. Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
The 4 coaches, he wasn't in there.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I'm a Carolina guy for your people.
Nice. I'm Ohio State for everybody else. Ohio State, Cavs, Indians, Browns. I live in misery 70% of the time.
He wears a bag on his head during football season.
No, I don't actually. because it's hard to breathe.
You admitted that you didn't pay attention anymore because you didn't know they were playing the other night.
I don't pay attention anymore. But that's less to do with the fact that the Browns have always sucked. And so it's less to do with the fact that they're not very good and more to do with the fact that I don't have a lot of time.
Are you mad that they let Belichick leave?
No, because I was like 4.
Right.
I don't know how old that was.
When he was there.
Yeah, I don't know how old that was, but no, I'm not upset about it. But anyways, what were we talking about? I don't even remember. If I'm a kid, right, and I want to go play for somebody,
the college coach,
and like he contacts me, and I look at his Twitter, and he's saying stuff about kids and looking at stuff, I'm like, in my head, I'm going, why would anybody in there? If I'm a player on his team right now, what do I think? Coach, I posted a video last week about me working out. Well, are you mad at me now? Like, you've lost all credibility with everybody, and that's a huge problem. And we talk about how social media, how I've built through social media some of the connections and things like that. Well, you could easily sever them. I mean, you know, Lace and I had a conversation about 2 or 3 coaches who were stealing other people's content.
Right.
And like that coach, I haven't heard from him ever again or seen anything ever again. Maybe he's out there. I don't really know. But those coaches basically lost because they're doing that, and the truth eventually will come out, and people will realize like these people are fake and these people are not doing things the right way.
So that's part of it too, though, is I don't, like we were talking earlier, I also think you have to be yourself too, because one of the things I think people make a mistake is in business is we throw out the widest net possible, but we're fishing in the ocean. Right, where we need to find our barrel where we can reach in and grab the fish. So it's most people are like, I gotta get in front of as many people as I can. No, you got to get in front of the right people, and you have to be you that way. So, I mean, if there are coaches out there that you hate social media, then don't be on it. Period. Like if that's your thing, like I don't like it, you can't do it. That's my rule. Then. Cool. I'm sure there's some kids out there that don't like social media either.
It's also
players.
A mistake.
Well,
hire somebody to run it for you. Like you can figure it out to improve yourself.
But what I'm getting at is that everybody has a group of people that they resonate with, and you have to aim at those people, which is you, on that platform. So stop trying to fish in the ocean and go fish in the barrel.
Yes.
The biggest depth finder is still only find you one fish in the spot.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I was getting my Gary Vee on there. I mean, you got to be on social media nowadays, like, right? I mean, like, kind of. I mean, you don't have to, but like, that's kind of where the kids are. Well, you know, that's kind of where your recruits are going to be in 3 years, 4 years. You know, so.
And have like, if you're a coach, college coach, and you're recruiting kids, like, be real on social media, like. But put some fun stuff out there. Put some things out there that you do that kids are going to be like, ooh, that looks like fun. Like, it is a huge opportunity that I don't think any colleges are using well enough to promote their program.
It's free recruiting.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, kids are going to follow your Twitter if they like your school. Right?
Is there an NCAA rule on that? Where you can or can't follow Twitters and stuff?
There's one where you can't follow the kid or something. I don't know what it is, but there's no rule they can't follow you. So why wouldn't I be on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it happens to be, let the accounts know that they're out there, and use that as a tool to promote what we do and how we do what we do. Now, maybe Maryland football doesn't want to do that. But
yikes.
Yeah, that was nice. But like I would think that, you know, that's a great way to attract players. And we talked about this for our high school basketball team. Like, we're attracting players. We necessarily can't do anything about it unless you're going into the 8th grade, and then you can come sign up in August of your beginning of your 8th grade year, and maybe we can get you in.
Maybe.
But not maybe you can't get in, sorry, because we can't get you in. But as a college program, like, Gary Vee pays a dude to follow him around with a camera.
I think he's got, like, he said 20 people on his personal staff that work directly for him and his social media.
Yeah, he's not doing it, but he's the director of it, right? He's giving them the content, and then he's telling them where to put it. where to go.
And you can be really bad at it and people will still pay attention.
It's not even a good or bad thing. Like, who cares about the quality of your video, right? Like, I hear people like they don't want to do a video because the quality's bad. Go back and look at Wine Library. His first videos, it's like he's a shadow because the lighting's so bad. It looks like, I don't know if you had an old TV with antennas, right? Before cable, I did not. So when it goes all blurry and you get the snow, so it's like snow with this. And you got to hear the audio, really, basically all it was, right?
Yeah.
But so you're never gonna be as good as you are down the road, but you got to start. And I'm full of them today, but it's the start that stops most. So people are so afraid it's not going to be perfect, but you got to do it. And then once you do it, you can get better at it because you know what went wrong. You know what didn't go well, but you don't know what's not going well until you do it.
And one of my biggest issues when I first started my channel and doing some more detailed breakdowns too, eventually, I was like, this isn't going to be perfect. Like, in my mind, I was like, this isn't good enough or as perfect as I want it to be. And then, honestly, it really didn't change till about even 6 months ago, where I was like, well, screw it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll do it and I'll figure it out along the way. Like, it looks nicer than it did when I first started, for sure.
Right.
But guess what? It's still not what I want it to be. And that's okay. But I just decided, I am who I am. I just want to be myself and put out this content for coaches. And even with starting my membership portion of my website, which I don't think I've actually talked about, but having that, it was nerve-wracking because I was like, am I doing enough? Is it good enough? Is it perfect enough for people? Are people going to actually buy this stuff? The answer turned out to be yes so far. They've continued that, thankfully. I'll continue to work on it and improve. But it goes back to everything. It was can you get better every single day? I just want to improve a little bit every single day. And if I can be the best in that every day, eventually the little things will add up to the big thing and it will take care of itself and figure it out. But I was definitely wanting it to be perfect for a long time.
So the math question, which goes back to the story of the father giving his two sons a choice, right? I'll give you $1 million or a penny compounded daily. I think I probably told this one to you before, but which one do you want? Well, one son,
I know the answer,
takes the $1 million, right? Because he's like, a penny? I don't want a damn penny. Even if it's compounded daily, no. So the one son takes the $1 million and he just decides to try to invest, and he gets all these people and he's paying salaries and they're investing the money and they're making some money and that kind of stuff. And so at the end of the month, he looks in his bank account and he still has $1 million, right? The son that said, I'll take the penny compounded daily. End of day 2, he has 2 pennies. The end of day 4, he has 4 pennies. End of day 5, he's got 8 pennies, right? His brother's over there going, ha ha, moron. Well,
look at his Twitter.
On day 29, I don't have it in front of me again, and I can't take my shoes off to do this math. So he has it's maybe day 25, and he doesn't even have $100,000 yet, right? But on day 31, he has $12 million in his bank account. It's 12 and some 100,000 change. Anyway, but so that's what we're talking about here. It's that penny. If you can compound it daily, awesome. But if you can get 1% better every day, it doesn't compound. But still, you add 1, and that 1%, there's 1.01, and it continues to multiply over time. And so you get so much better, but it's on getting better at the little thing. And so I think I don't use the word hate much, but I hate the word perfection. It's not possible. It's not an attainable thing, but yet we try to attain it all the time, and it keeps us from doing stuff.
Tell that to the Dolphins.
Oh man, yeah. So
I agree. By the way, I do agree with that.
yeah. So it's just one of those, like, I like to throw things out there and for your audience to make you think. So that's what that whole compounded penny and the hating of the word perfection. Like, just think about that for yourself. I don't want to tell you how to think. Just want to share some stuff to make you think.
You definitely have challenged me in that area of, like, I would think one way or say something, and you'd be like, then you would come back with a point, and it wouldn't even be a disagreement or an argument or whatever. Like, well, if people saw us on the bench, they think we were arguing about everything every minute, but that's really just having a dialogue. And but like, just thinking about everything all the way through is something that I really didn't do before I joined the staff, and really didn't recognize the value in that. But you have definitely brought that into my thought process now, where it's like I try to be way more insightful and think about, maybe it did influence me to think about why they're talking about Fortnite, why they're talking about the workout videos, and to really explore everything behind statements and things of that nature. So that's really been beneficial for me, for sure.
Awesome. So, hey, what I told my wife when I started my podcast is that if I affect one person, then I've succeeded. So, I got one. I'm good. Done. I'm out.
You can just end. You're done with the podcast now, right? Like, I'm the last guest ever.
No. No. But, no, it's and that's, again, I don't want to tell you how to think. I'll definitely give you my opinion. But I want to throw out the questions in there that then you have to think about it. And but that's the great thing, like the dialogue that we have, like on the bench during the games. Like, I love it. It's so much fun.
Well, a big part of that is it seems like we're angry because it's in the moment and we have to make quick decisions. You can't sit there and, like, if you want to sub in player A and I think you should sub in player B,
or if I want to take out player A.
Or take out player A. It can't be like, most of the time it was taking out player A.
Yeah, it was taking out player A.
But I can't sit there and be like, well, Jason, let me think about your feelings and, like, how you're going to take, no, it has to be like, I don't think so, I think we should do this. And then you say, I don't think so, we should do this. And then we go, Layson, what do we do? And then Layson goes, we're doing this, both of you guys are wrong. So... but it's a dialogue back and forth, and it's quick because it has to be a quick decision, and you can't sit there and think about my emotional reaction to it or emotional feelings. We have to, in the moment, realize that we're just trying to win a basketball game. It's nothing personal, and then we talk about it later.
That's funny because I have never even thought about it that way at all. Like, am I hurting your feelings? Are you hurting my feelings? Are my feelings getting hurt? No, yeah. I've never even thought about it like that. So that's an interesting, like,
But I bet people do. Like on benches, I bet you some people, that's where the egos come into play. Definitely. And they get butt hurt, basically. Right? That's what I use. They get butt hurt about it, and then it causes a rift. Like, if I took what you said personally, like about me or about something, like if you're like, hey, floppy's not working, I'm like, yeah, duh, like we're both watching things, but no, it's more just, like, hey, we're getting killed on the freaking ball screen, man. Like how are we gonna, it's not like you are doing a bad job. It's like, how can we get this problem solved? And it's quick, and it has to be quick because the most you're gonna have is, they say 60 seconds in a timeout, but the 10 seconds it comes to for the kids to walk gingerly back to the bench, and then for me to go check how many timeouts we have left and the foul count, and then talk to Layson, and then talk to you, and then you talk to Layson. We got about 15 seconds of actual time where we can get our message across, and that's where the simplicity of what we're gonna do next year, I think, will come into play. It'll be in those moments. It won't be in everyday practice. I think we did a good job last year in that, but it'll be in those moments. It'll be in our discussions and in our coaches meetings. We'll keep our coaches meetings, like they talk about Quinn Snyder and the coaches meeting that went from 10 minutes to 7 minutes because he wanted it streamlined. Right. That's where I think we can take the next level. We can take the next step in that simplicity. But that's my long-winded point on not having ego on the bench and all of the stuff that can happen after that.
Yeah, I kind of sitting here processing that part. Like I hadn't. I don't know if I don't have an ego or if I don't just give a damn. I don't know.
I think we all have an ego.
Right.
The
but I'm just
size
saying
of it varies. Right?
Well,
I had a huge ego early on.
It's always there. Like it's not. We always have an ego, but it's kind of that understanding or realization that, for me, yeah. Well, we can hit the balls. Like that for me. Well, we can go down this road if we want, but it's that thought in the moment, and like I don't even let that thought stick anymore. Like I just let it go.
Yeah, for sure.
And it moves on. Well, we're gonna pause for a bathroom break.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But we're not gonna take you with us. So
I'm not. I'm leaving my mic right here.
after these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I feel better.
An hour and a half with only one. It was very. They caught us off guard.
yeah,
they ran a nice
right?
misdirection set on us. It looked like it was two stalls or a stall and two urinals, but
with a door.
It was doors with like supplies in it. They got us.
Yeah.
They got us on that one.
I thought about just using the cabinet, but that wouldn't be very nice, right?
No, we're trying to represent Cary Academy
Right,
here.
right.
So we
You have
got
to throw the school out there with that. That's okay. I'm just playing.
That's what we do, man.
I know.
We've already talked about it.
I know. But it's
school
like,
out.
but right after the pee in the cabinet thing, like, oh man, no.
We didn't do it.
No.
So we'll be okay.
Right.
And we're not at Maryland. So we changed our offense. I'm just going to throw some quick hitters at both of us from Twitter for both of us to answer,
Okay.
right? And it'll be specific to our school and to us as coaches, and just talk about. I'm going to address a lot of these on like episodes on my YouTube, but I want to just talk about it real quick on the podcast. So we changed our offense the last 2 years, like 5 games in, and like 3, maybe it was last year was like even 2 games in, pretty early in the season. And we changed our offense to different things based on it wasn't working. So one of the coaches, John Carrier, I like him a lot on Twitter. He's at John Carrier 42 if you guys are following. He asked, how did you know you needed to change versus staying the course and improving? I've had years where I changed and shouldn't have, and year where he stuck with it and shouldn't have. So why did you know that we needed a change?
Well, because I, like, year one,
Either.
I didn't know. I'm going to say year one.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
Right.
Right? Like, if I don't understand it, I know the kids don't understand it, right? And I don't know if I said that to y'all, but I was like, this is too much. Like, there's too many things. I don't remember exactly either.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I remember if you did say it, because I would have appreciated it.
well, I was just, maybe that was kind of the feeling out process. Like, now I'd be like, dude, like, this is way too much. But no, like, for me, I was like, whoa. And I was like, can we simplify this? Can we cut some stuff out to make it easier? I mean, I do remember saying that.
Yeah, I remember that part. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But I don't think I said I don't understand it, because you might have looked at me like, what? I don't know.
No. I feel like I would have. Maybe I would have. I don't know. I knew we needed to change because it wasn't working. I mean, it was pretty much that simple. It was like, okay, it didn't even look good when we won.
Right.
Like, it didn't look like it was working when we won.
Correct.
So I was like, well, if we're barely beating bad teams with it, and we're getting blown out by the best teams, and if we're not, aren't we trying to compete and beat the best teams?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what our goal is if we're trying to win. But I was like, this isn't working, so we're gonna have to change it. That was the first year, and that we ran the spread offense first year, and I did a clinic on that, and I went in for about 30 minutes on why it didn't work for us and what I would have done differently, and how to adjust it, and certain things like that. It's available on my website. And
what's your website?
thebasketballplaybook.com.
Okay, just for those people.
Yeah, thebasketballplaybook.com, and Half Court Hoops on Twitter, and I talk about it. I'm not like, I'm not saying buy it. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, it didn't work, and a part of that was I didn't teach it very well, and I go into that as well. And I was a bad teacher, and so we made the change, and instantly we saw it was much better. We went to a 5-out spacing, drive and kick type, kind of down screen read type offense.
Can I interject one thing? I think my favorite thing was just like we call it camp offense when I talk with Layson about it, but just going to the pass and cut to the basket or pass and screen away, like super simple, super easy, and like to watch the kids move a lot faster and see them have success in it. I was like, maybe that whole thought about simplification is actually right. Like that was when I kind of knew, like, hey, like that simple thing, maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I agree. And so now let's fast forward. We'll flow into the second year, right? Where I even told myself, I'm going to keep it simple.
Right.
Like I thought I was keeping it simple. I wasn't, clearly, because I shouldn't say that. I thought I was keeping it simple to the point where I thought they could handle it.
Right.
Versus starting off simple and adding more. I think you could always probably add more, but taking away more, you're never going to get that time back that you already spent covering that stuff, and you feel like you wasted your time, so you want to keep it in. It's just a revolving cycle from there.
Right.
So we ran like a Davidson style motion offense starting in the preseason and the offseason, a little bit here and there, where we were doing more screening actions, more passing, more cutting, and letting them kind of read it. And it was still a little structured. And what was happening was the ball would get to two players who couldn't dribble or do the things that we wanted to at the level we wanted them to. And I felt like I wasn't putting our best players in a position to win in their own minds. Not win the game of basketball, but win, like having fun. Well, like we had a really good player. Can I say his name? Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, Chase, right? Who's now at Davidson running cross country. He was an incredible athlete, and he played the 5 for us. And he was a rim run guy, right?
Yep.
And he was extremely skilled off the dribble. We only had him for 1 year. I wish we had more. But he was extremely skilled at taking guys off the dribble, and he created a mismatch naturally, which was important for us. We loved that aspect of it. But what wasn't happening he wasn't getting the ball and going in and taking advantage of that mismatch. So I was like, man, like Joe and Chase, who are two of our best drivers, aren't driving.
Right.
Like they're not, and they're smothering Trey, who committed to Rice and was one of the best shooters in the state. So in my head, I was like, okay, we need to get Trey the ball. We need to get him driving. We need to get Joe driving. We need to get Chase driving. I don't want these two other guys touching the ball right now. Like, hopefully we can teach it and build them into the offense, or figure out two other guys that can be, and then go from there. So we went 5 out, and we were always 5 out, but we went more straight 5 out into what we called the 3 game, which those 3 guys basically handled up top. The other 2 guys who were really good catch and shoot guys in the corners spaced the floor properly, and then we built it a little bit more advanced from there. But switching to that 2 or 3 games in, I was just like, I really just wanted to do it just to take advantage of what we had. And I knew we weren't. And I knew we weren't going to if we had stayed with the offense. Now, if I didn't change, I would rather change
and change again.
And change again. Yeah, like
again.
I would just rather keep changing it. And even if we had to change it back, like I don't care what it is. I don't care, I don't care what offense we run as long as it works. Unless we run 3 out 2 in and don't shoot threes, then I won't run it. But
hold on, you should say you don't care what offense we run as long as we shoot threes.
That I firmly believe that the best offenses do revolve around the 3-point shot.
I'm not going to disagree, especially for our team.
Yes. Well, yes, especially for our team that is a lack of size and athleticism.
Right. Like our tallest
more
guy this year
last
is
year.
6'2".
Yeah. I think 6'2" is probably our tallest guy this year, and he's not really a bigger guy either.
No.
So we got some thickness, but shorter, hopefully. But I mean, for the most part, that's how we're going to win games. But even in AAU, when I had a guy who could post up and had like 6'4", 6'5" guys who were, they weren't great 3-point shooters, but they could kind of shoot, I still spaced it out and went 3-point shooting just because if you do have a 6'10" guy and you want to throw the ball down to him, 3 is worth more than 2.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we have the calculations, we've done the math, and the same analytics that are at the NBA and college levels, that does translate.
Nah, never mind. I was just
So
GPS guy back here.
which voice?
Yes.
But so that's why we went to the change, and I'd rather change and have it not work than not change and have it not work.
Right. It's one of those like quickly in the beating of my head against the wall.
Yes.
Because I don't see the wall breaking anytime soon.
So let's fast forward to this year starting, right? We've had conversations about, are you still thinking about, we're going to do like a numbered system, things like that. And we always kind of come back to is like, let's just see what we got. Let's teach them how to play and then we'll figure it out from there. We'll put stuff in. I want to run more concepts and early offense and push and transition. Yeah. But
still probably run the same break.
Yeah, same break. Yeah, I think same break. That was really effective for us.
Yeah, so we'll have the numbers for just because people need to know what their responsibility is on the break. The numbers in a position, just so you guys know that.
Yeah, we might not even have a point guard. It might just be who gets the ball.
Right.
Because we'll have 4 to 5 guys who can handle it adequately. 3 or 4 that definitely can, and then 2 that might not be as good. But I like the, to segue, I like the way Eastman proposed the roles. As in the value you can bring to the team is this. You can add value to the team by doing this versus I want your role to be only this.
Gotcha. This is your no. That makes when you said roles, I went picking roles first.
Wow. Yeah,
but but no, that was a great way to do it. Like, so kids are tired of hearing the word, "This is your role."
Yeah.
So they think like, "Oh, I suck" when they hear, "This is my role."
Yep.
Rather than what he said, and it's just a changing of the words, but this is the value you bring to our team.
Yes.
Like, this is how you're going to help your teammates win, is the way that I would put it, not us win.
Yeah.
But this is how you're going to help your teammates win, because let's be real, they care more about their buddies on the team than they do about us.
They should.
Yeah.
They absolutely should. But anyways, that goes into where we're at right now. Currently, we're just doing skill work, getting them better, teaching them how to play, not really teaching them anything besides this is how basketball is played. Let's do it more.
Right. And I think offensively, we're teaching, like, I haven't been to workouts because, see, coaches in cars.
Yep. Train right now.
But still sticking with those concepts and the numbers that you're talking about, but not necessarily the numbers, just the fact that these are the actions that we want to see that we think will help this team score. And then if it evolves into certain plays and sets or that kind of stuff, now that makes a lot more sense because we're building from a base.
Yes.
And me as the contractor, I always talk about the foundation.
Yes.
And if you want to build a big building, you got to have a very big, strong, wide, deep foundation.
Yes.
So,
and then from a defensive standpoint, because we decided we're going to probably switch everything,
we decided, and probably in the same sentence.
Well, because we change, we could change.
No, we
back.
do. This is true.
I don't know. I can't True. For sure. It may come out in 3 months.
Where's the glass ball?
And people,
it might come out. And it might come out in 2 days.
People look back and they're like, "Those guys said they're switching everything." I went to their practice; they didn't do any of that. So it's like we intend to try that. Our intent is to switch everything because we're a smaller team and probably gonna trap the post and everything.
And the purpose of that is we're gonna have mismatches, so why not just make it?
Why don't we create our own mismatch in our heads and then just figure it out later, right? Yeah. But yeah, so because of that, we're going to do more work on that now in the skill development portion of it, and we'll see what that looks like. But getting them to play like 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. I loved the other day we played 3-on-3, and there's a girl going to Yale. Came absolutely just whooped on him. It was amazing. I can't remember. I wish I remember her name. I wanted to give her a shout out. She was actually a very awesome young woman. Like, she thanked me for letting her use the gym with Coach Z. It was really great, and I really, really appreciated that. So shout out to you. Can't remember your name. Yale recruit.
Awesome.
She could shoot the lights out too. Her footwork is sweet.
There's probably not that many freshman basketball player females at Yale. I mean, I could be wrong, but
I don't know.
It's probably 5 or less. So
it probably is, yeah. So basically, what a lot of people kind of like the polarizing thing for me on Twitter, and the hill that I die on, I guess if you want to call it that, is the post up, right? Like, I think it's an inefficient shot overall, even if you have a really good post up player, right? Now, like Ravenscroft had Hemphill, who could do 6'8", who could score. I mean, not much we're going to do against that, right? But for the most part, I would say 90% of the teams that we played, they had bigger kids, not better post-up players, right?
Completely agree.
So with that, what is your opinion on the state of the post up? Let's call it that. Like where do you see that in today's modern NBA, NCAA, high school, whatever you see it?
So, my background being the Carolina guy, like I'm kind of one of those like inside out people.
Right.
Like that's what my background. That's what my initial thought is. I would go 4 out and 1 in, just because my deal is stressing the defense. Right. So how do you best stress the defense? Ball reversals, and if you have a post player that they got to double off of, so it's not. It'd be a post person that can score, that's a threat to score, but maybe they're more of a decoy lots of the time, unless they get a dunk or a layup. Like if they're not in what Kevin called the mini lane, I don't want them taking the shot.
Yeah.
Because like 3 is greater than 2.
Yeah.
But I think if you can stress the defense that way too, like that they gotta, oh my God, if this guy catches it in the mini lane, now I got a problem. If you can surround that guy with 4 shooters,
now you're in business.
Right.
That's the 09 Orlando Magic right there, right?
Right.
4 around Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would go back to Shaq because I thought he was better than Dwight.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But I just meant
anyway,
like that was almost the start with the post up player,
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
But on the other hand too, like you can stress the defense with ball movement with 5 out. I mean, I love 5 out too, because now you have the lane open for everything.
Yeah.
So how do you, to me, you really like, it's not an either or, it's an and, but it's an and based on your personnel.
Yeah. Who do you have and who you can train in that too. Yeah. Like we might post up our 2 guards this year more than anybody else. Well, we post up more than last year because we posted up like 6 times. So we're gonna post up more this year, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Well, one of them this year isn't really a 3-point shooter, so that's where he's going to be effective for us. So that makes sense for us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
5 out, him being out, and then depending upon the other 4 on the floor, it's like your value to our team is screening.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
Right?
like your value is screening for sure.
And rebounding.
Yes. And just for reference, when we do post guys up, what I would want to start doing and what I like to do is in 5 out, we're still in our 5 out principles, but they're a backdoor guy into a post up.
Right. Oh,
Yeah. Or a back screen, whatever the situation calls for. But, you're a backdoor cutter, right? You're dribbled out, you cut backdoor, maybe get a layup. And then go right into a post up and look to get, invert the offense that way or, whatever we're looking for. So,
Yeah. No, and we've gone back and forth with paint touches or ball reversals, and it's a stress the defense. How can you best get a defender to turn his back to his man that he's guarding?
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe that's a different statistic. Not that I'm trying to get you to look for something else, because I think the ball reversals do that.
Yeah.
But
I think we kind of know what we got right now, like as far as analytics and stuff. Like we know what works. We just got to figure out how we're going to make it work for us. Right. So.
And I had another guy on, Chris Mast. He's an analytics dude, and his saying was, you use the analytics to educate your instincts. Right?
Yeah.
So just because the NBA analytics say, or just because somebody thinks the number of passes equates to wins.
We can get on that too if we want.
Go for it. I'll let you get there.
Yeah.
But just, it doesn't necessarily mean it. Why?
Right.
Why? Passes wins?
Yeah. Passes.
Go look at the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
passes don't reflect. The number of passes does not reflect the actual level of offense and how many times you're going to score. So, Eastman brought it up where it was like the Warriors' magic number is 300 passes, right? And it's been known for a while. There's an article written about it a couple years ago. And so I did go on a Twitter rant about this, because it does not mean the more you pass the ball, the better your offense will be, because you look at the top 6-7 teams, 4 to 5 of them were like literally the worst teams in the league, like the Bulls, the Kings, like I can't remember the other ones Memphis, like they were some of the worst teams in the league.
Number of passes per game.
Number of passes. But and like Houston, Houston had the highest offensive rating in almost NBA history last year, right? And they were the last in passes per game.
So again, it's like what helps your team win?
Yes.
Right.
And what we did when I looked through all our possessions over the last 2 years, and I found that it wasn't the passes per possession, it was the ball reversals and paint touches. If we got 2 ball reversals, we scored 72% of the time. Problem is we couldn't get 2 ball reversals to save our life, obviously.
It's not just the RT problem. Like I talked about that with my son's rec team that I coached.
Yeah.
I couldn't get 1 ball reversal.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys. And then when they would do it and we'd get an easy layup, I'd be like, hold on, how many times did the ball cross midcourt? And they'd be like, 2, coach. And I'm like, how many people were wide ass open? 3, coach.
Yeah.
Well, and then no ball reversals for the next 8 possessions. Like I'm not going to coach his age anymore. It's too beat my head against the wall.
So weirdly, we ended up this last year, we scored more off of no ball reversals than we ever before because we had guys taking guys out of the dribble, getting a paint touch, getting to the rim, collapsing the defense.
Well, also the early offense too. Is that part of their numbers?
No, I looked at just half court sets. Yeah, just because early offense, that's going to skew it way in one way or the other. It's not really the number that, in my opinion.
No, you're right.
But yeah, but what it would be we would get in our 3 game, which is the drive and kick stuff and drive to the rim first. And we'd have Chase and Joe and Trey who are so good off the dribble, they beat their guy, they're going to score a layup because there's no help from the corners because it's
if they help,
3-point
shooters.
Yeah. And then Chase's man would help, who was the biggest guy on the floor, and Chase would get the offensive rebound. He was great at timing that and getting the offensive rebound. Had a great motor too, which is huge.
Yep.
So, there's multiple ways to do it. Just do it the multiple ways that work for your team and your personnel. And if it's not working, then guess what? You need to change it and figure it out along the way.
Yeah, but it's not change it to something else that you think might work. It's change it to something that you look at your personnel.
Yes. That would directly benefit them immediately that will work.
You got to look at what they do well. And honestly, with Chase, we didn't have a great idea.
No, we didn't.
Until we got into games, right?
You're right.
So, that's what the adjustments that you've made have been really good. Is like step back. It's not about me. It's about putting the players in the position to succeed.
Yeah.
And the coach that said he changed and it didn't work, and he didn't change and it didn't work. Well, what did he change to?
Yeah.
Did he just change to a different system, different plays?
I think I'm going to have him on podcast and video and talk more about it, so that way we can start the conversation versus just saying, what do you do?
These are just,
you just don't know.
I don't know, so I can't. I can't say one way or the other. But I know what you did.
Yeah, true.
Right. So
you were there. You were there for it.
I know that it worked.
You were there for me losing mine. I lost more hair because of it. I think genetics played a part, but
it's like look at all this hair.
Yeah. Started off with some hair and went away.
By the way, Layson's only like 8 years older than me, so he's really not.
Yeah, we did at the 7, isn't it? Did we do the math? Are you 51?
Oh, it's 7 then.
Yeah, so it's 7.
Yeah. So that's a year in dogs. So maybe he's not that much older.
Yeah.
Well, man, we are about back.
Yes. One more light. So, parting piece of Cars and Coaches, wisdom, humor. What you got? We just talked for like 3 hours, man. I would just say make it fun. Your life, not coaching. Right? Like make everything fun. I have fun, so much fun at home, like by myself. Seriously, by myself. I jumped out of my seat the other day. I was watching film. I jumped out of my seat and I got excited. Like I was so pumped because I saw a new set. But new sets don't come out that often for me. But I got so excited. But it made me happy because I was doing that. And then it makes me happy to make my wife smile. It makes me happy to make my dad smile and to call my dad and we laugh and joke. And when we get with my family, we all have fun. When we get with the kids in the gym, we have fun. Like I want to make everything fun and then have a purpose to get better with it.
No, I completely agree. Like I am a fun having dude, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing, like get out, like change, right?
Yeah.
Like take a little bit of time to self-evaluate. What are your skills? Like we looked at the players on our team.
Yep.
Figure out, put yourself in the best position to succeed and enjoy it.
Yeah. Create a Twitter and Instagram. That's social media. Nowadays it works.
Yeah. Be you, do you, and you'll be amazed. Like you can have a online business doing something you enjoy. Whether it's, I don't know, baking cakes, making Play-Doh.
Whatever. People will buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch Gary Vee. Read Jocko Willink. Look at the resources that Jason puts out. Figure out ways that you can maximize your own talent and go from there. And just start it. Like that's the biggest thing I regret. I didn't just start it. I thought about it. I planned, and then I didn't do anything. And then eventually I did it, and I was like, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yep. So it's whistleandaclipboard.com. It's all spelled out. Or Jason H. Oates, Oates on Twitter. Find us there. Find me there. Hit up Layson, get some plays.
Yes, and I am at Half Court Hoops on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat even now. I'm on Snapchat. And my website is thebasketballplaybook.com. I have tons of free stuff out there. I also have a membership site if you're into that kind of thing. If you're not, I still love you.
Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Whistle and a Clipboard and Half Court Hoops. Thank you again. Now go out there and make a difference.